Hi, welcome to the 12th episode of KANGA Crypto News, where I'm going to present you with the latest information from the world of crypto. What topics are going to be mentioned today? First of all, I'm going to be talking about the situation on cryptocurrency ETFs. Later, I'm going to talk about record outflows from centralized cryptocurrency exchanges, then talk about which exchange has been recently hacked, and then later talk about Fidelity International and how it tokenizes a money market fund on JPM Morgan blockchain, and at the very end, a few words about MAGA and Trump, so the meme coins related to Donald Trump and politics. Remember to subscribe to the channel, leave us a thumbs up, click the bell button so that you won't miss out on any news from the world of cryptocurrencies. Let's get started. Prospective spot Ethereum ETF issuers are still waiting on the SEC to provide comments on their S1 filings after they submitted first drafts on May 31st, according to two sources. The issuers had been anticipating the SEC would provide comments on these drafts on June 7th, according to one source, based on the conversations with the agency. Yet, at least two issuers have not received anything yet. One source said they now anticipate comments to come back this week. This comes after SEC Chair Gary Gensler said on CNBC that the approvals of the S1 forms would take some time. It is unclear exactly how long the process will take. One source previously said they expect the S1 forms to go through at least 2 more rounds of draft filings before they are ready. The S1 forms are the second step in a 2-step process toward making the spot Ethereum ETFs go live for trading. The first step was the approval of the 19V4 forms, which happened on May 23rd. The draft filings also reveal a few details. BlackRock is seeding its ETF with $10 million, while Franklin Templeton plans to start with 0.19% fee. When the spot Ethereum ETFs go live, a key question will be whether they can try to replicate the success of the spot Bitcoin ETFs. Bitfinex head of derivatives Jack Koerner estimates they will bring in around 10 to 20% of the flows that have been going into Bitcoin ETFs. And what is the current situation with flows on Bitcoin ETFs, which have been functioning for a few months now? Well, simply put, the funds are buying them en masse. Spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, ETFs, in the United States acquired the equivalent of around 2 months' worth of the cryptocurrency's mining supply in the first week of June. With inflows of approximately $1.83 billion, the 11 ETFs bought 25,729 Bitcoin in the trading week between June 3rd and 7th, around 8 times more than the 3,150 new BTC mined over the same time, according to data from HODL 15 Capital. The amount of Bitcoin acquired in the week alone was almost as much as the entire month of May and is the biggest week of buying since mid-March, when Bitcoin slightly exceeded the all-time high level of $73,800. If you want to understand how the ETFs work and when we can expect a rise of the price of Bitcoin, I invite you to watch the special episode of No Comment, The Whole Truth About Cryptocurrency ETFs, which is on our second YouTube channel. The conversation is in Polish, but you can put on English subtitles. The link is in the description of this episode. The approval of spot Ether ETFs has opened Pandora's box for another altcoin ETF. Solana, XRP, Chainlink, or Dogecoin could be next, but is this crypto market overly optimistic? The prospect of another altcoin exchange-traded fund ETF in the United States could depend on political changes following the upcoming 2024 US presidential election. This is despite the US Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) giving the green light for fund managers to list spot Ether ETFs on May 23rd. Although SEC Chair Gary Gensler admitted that it will take time until the Ether ETFs are launched, speculation about the next crypto ETF has already begun, with Solana's emerging as a top contender. The results could radically change the course of altcoin ETFs. Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric Balchunas noted, "If Trump wins, we could see other coins as ETFs, in my opinion." Balchunas added that if Trump were victorious, he could go really liberal on crypto and support it with everything, as he has pledged. In that case, Balchunas said Trump could put in place a new SEC commissioner who doesn't care about the process followed by the SEC in the last 2 years, where having futures data was a vital part of the spot ETF approval process. Additionally, Balchunas believes that Trump's victory could prompt ETF issuers to apply for new crypto ETFs en masse. If Trump wins, I suspect people will test the waters and try all kinds of stuff. On the other hand, Balchunas believes that if Democrats keep on power, it's unlikely there will be an altcoin ETF. Even if Biden removes Gensler and appoints another Democrat as SEC chair, the prospects of an altcoin ETF in the US seem high, correlated to the results of the approaching presidential election, and the possibility of an altcoin ETF in 2024 is slim, as the elected president would take office in January 2025. Aside from the upcoming US elections, some more specific requirements are generally expected to be met to obtain approval for an ETF. It must offer healthy levels of liquidity, decentralization, resistance to price manipulation, and, if possible, a price classification from regulatory agencies. Are altcoins ready to meet these conditions? What do you think? Write a comment with your private opinion on this topic, and I will move on to the next piece of news. Glassnode data revealed that user balances of Bitcoin and Ether on centralized exchanges reached a 4-year low as investors held out for higher prices in a bull market. Bitcoin balances dipped to below $2.3 million, valued at around $160 billion, with Ether balances have dropped below 16 million, amounting to less than $59 billion. The amount of Bitcoin and Ether on exchanges has been in a downtrend since before July 2020, per Glassnode. Data confirmed that users continued to withdraw assets from these platforms following the pandemic through the previous 2021 peak, during the 2022 Terra FTX contagion, and even after spot Bitcoin ETFs were approved. The 4-year pattern suggests that crypto users have adopted a bullish long-term outlook, expressing confidence in the future appreciation of these assets regardless of market cycles. After the COVID-19 crisis in 2020, inflation also rocketed world economies and incentivized investors to station capital in technologically sound vehicles. Bitcoin's hard-capped supply and immutable design bolstered its status as an inflation hedge, and sovereign nations like El Salvador have adopted the cryptocurrency as legal tender. The bullish thesis is perhaps solidified even further as Wall Street behemoths like BlackRock and Fidelity drove institutional demand through spot Bitcoin ETFs. Companies like MicroStrategy under Bitcoin maximalist Michael Saylor have also parked billions in top digital assets. As the second largest crypto and top altcoin asset, Ether commends its own bullish thesis as leading substitute for Bitcoin. The token powers the biggest decentralized finance ecosystem, worth nearly $70 billion per DeFi Llama. In 2020, developers launched the Bitcoin chain, which kicked off the eventual transition from proof of work to proof of stake. The move unlocked Ether staking, a process of locking up Ether for network security and passive yield. While recording this material, over 27% of Ethereum's supply was staked. In other words, users have deposited over $119 billion worth of Ether in staking providers like Coinbase, Lido, and EigenLayer. Okay, let's move on to the next piece of news, which is a hacking attack. British cryptocurrency exchange Lykke reported a loss exceeding $22 million following a cyber attack on its wallet. In a June 10th post on X, the crypto exchange acknowledged it had suffered an attack on its infrastructure on June 4th after Web3 threats. Researcher under alias SomXBT disclosed the incident in a series of X posts. The attack saw an unknown entity withdraw 158 Bitcoin and 2,161 Ether from the exchange wallet. Lykke stated it immediately shut down affected systems to limit damage and assured that the security breaches had been thoroughly examined and fully addressed. While the exchange didn't specify the hack's exact cause, it reassured customers of its strong financial health, highlighting its solid capital reserves and a diverse portfolio. Clients' funds are safe and will be recovered. The international investigation conducted identified the IP address of the attacker who stole more than $22 million of crypto assets. As of press time, the exchange has halted withdrawals and deposits as a preventative measure with no clear timeframe for resuming operations. Lykke also added on its website that the platform would remain inactive until further notice. The latest incident appears to be the second largest crypto theft in second quarter of this year, following a $300 million attack on Japanese Bitcoin exchange DMM on May 31st. At the time, DMM reported the loss of over 4,500 Bitcoin from customer wallets and pledged full reimbursement, later revealing plans to raise $320 million to compensate affected users. To protect your assets, it's best to keep them outside of the exchanges, which we strongly encourage you to do. If you want to know more about the topic of security in cryptocurrencies, go to KANGA University, where you're going to find a lot of useful information on that topic. Fidelity International, a London-based funds management firm, has tokenized shares in a money market fund, MMF, using JP Morgan's Ethereum-based private blockchain network Onyx Digital Assets. Tokenization occurred near instantaneously through connectivity between the fund's transfer agent, JP Morgan's transfer agency business, and tokenized collateral network, an application that sits between a collateral receiver and a collateral provider on the bank's Onyx blockchain, said Fidelity International, which is a separate entity for US-based Fidelity management and research. Tokenization of traditional financial assets has become a priority for banks, and it's an area JP Morgan has been working on for some years. The essence of tokenization is to create on a blockchain a virtual investment vehicle representing a real-world asset such as real estate, precious metals, and collectibles. Stocks and bonds work too. This information shows that the world is undergoing virtualization, and one of its important elements is blockchain. What's also important is that those changes are happening in banking, which is super important for the cryptocurrency industry. Trump-inspired meme coins, Trump, MAGA, and Strump, part some of their recent gains, and shares of Nasdaq-listed Trump Media slipped on Monday. While still the top trending tokens in the politics-inspired meme coins world, Trump, MAGA, and Strump were trading lower in afternoon trading. Data from CoinMarketCap showed MAGA hat price was down more than 15% in the past 24 hours. Meanwhile, Trump and Strump had cut recent gains to -8.3% and -4.4% in the past week respectively. Both tokens have also slipped in the past 24 hours, with a spike in volatility pushing prices to $13.74 and $0.022339 respectively. Shares of Trump Media fell more than 7% in early trading on Monday. This followed the company's fling of a re-audited financial report. Trump Media, whose majority stakeholders is the former US president, revealed in the filing that the company had hired Semple, Marshall & Cooper, LLP for re-audit. The US Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, recently charged Trump Media's previous audit with fraud. Can we expect rises on Trump meme coins in the near future? It looks like a lot will depend on the results of the upcoming presidential elections, but also on the actions of the SEC, which is now tasked with verifying the correctness of Trump's business action. Do you have any of those meme coins in your portfolio? Please leave us a comment. This was the 12th episode of KANGA Crypto News. More coming up soon. Remember to give us a sub and a thumbs up. Thanks to this, you will be up to date with what's new in the world of crypto. See you in the next episode. Bye!
We are KANGA, beyond crypto.